Hi everyone, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. Today we are talking about the divine masculine Gemini sign. So this one is probably the hardest sign to talk about because there are so many factors involved with the Gemini. Because they kind of have two different personalities, and sometimes they have a mask on as well. So I want to keep it real. I don't want to be mean or rude about any particular sign, but the truth is that with Geminis who aren't in their heart space, they can cause others to feel a certain way because of the way they're acting when they get in their ego. Okay, so let's try and break it down a little bit. Geminis have this kind of persona or this mask that they wear out in public. So when they walk along and they say hi to people and they say, how are you? And they go, yeah, I'm great, I'm fantastic, everything's going well. And little do the people know that maybe something really is going on underneath all of that, which can occur for every sign, but it's very noticeable with Gemini. And Gemini will only really let the people close to them know what's going on, and even then they'll still feel sometimes like there's this there's a wall, and I'll tell you why this is. So Gemini is an air sign, and air signs quite honestly like to feel free. So if you can imagine, like a bird, they like to fly up in the air and be free, but this continuous mental conversation they have with themselves always keeps them one step ahead of the game, so to speak. They like things their own way. They like to push their own agendas forward, and they very much like to be in control of a situation. So if they hosted a party at their house, they would like to be in charge of when the food comes out, what the food is. If someone's looking like they're not having a good time, they will try and intervene and perhaps ask that person, why aren't you having a good time? Why don't you come and play darts? Do you want another drink? Do you want some food? They will cater to the people that they're around, which is a really nice thing. Okay, but in the distorted energy, the Gemini can really be two-faced. So you can see this outward appearance of them trying to be kind and loving and nice, when really underneath they're perhaps even annoyed with you, or sick of the way you're behaving, and it's not until they're pushed and pushed and pushed that they'll really let you know. And they'll let you know with a sword kind of thing. They'll really go and they'll say nothing, and then when they finally get pushed or stressed to the limit, then bang, they will let you know that you've really hurt them or annoyed them or something like that, depending on the situation. They can be self-indulgent in terms of food and sex and friends. So they like this idea of having guess it's kind of like, you know, a famous persona sort of personality. So they kind of like the idea of having 1,000 friends, even though they might only talk to 5 of them. On social media, they would like to be seen as having a lot of friends, or they would like to be seen as being very successful in their business. And they will promote themselves to be that way, even if it's not the case. So this is where that two-sidedness comes from. And this isn't bad, really. It's just that they want to feel as though the world is seeing them in a good light. They really get torn up inside or in their mind when they think someone doesn't like them. And they'll either cut the person out of their life, or they'll try and make amends. Possibly by, I shouldn't say it, but this is the truth, so I guess I should say it. They may even try and guilt trip a person, which can be a narcissistic behavior, into agreeing with them or coming back into their fold, so to speak. But that's the distorted Gemini. So the Gemini who is heart-based will be kind and generous and will go out of their way to help others. And they'll also be constantly thinking all the time, how can I help others? What can I do to make their life easier? But also, what can I do to make my life easier? So they're hard workers, but they don't like to put effort in that will disallow their own happiness and freedoms, right? So if they knock off at 5 o'clock from work every night, it would really annoy them if they had to stay 2 hours more, unless they were going to be compensated for that in some way, shape or form. You know, they like everything to be succinct. They enjoy patterns of behavior as well. So they really do enjoy knowing what's generally going on, but then they can also have this other side where they can literally just let loose and, you know, say, yeah, sure, let's just go to the baseball game tomorrow, or let's just, you know, swim naked in the beach. You know, they've got that side of them which can kind of you know, allow them to be free. So this is the bird sort of part of them, where they're flying and they're just free, and you know, they kind of love that about their life. But then they also need the clarity. You know, if you could hold a sword in your hand and, you know, look at, you know, let's say you're in medieval times and look at someone and say, well, what do you think about this? And you've got a sword to them. You know, they want the truth. They don't want BS. So they've got this clarity. Their mind is constantly ticking over about people, places and things, but they still want their freedom at the same time. So it's highly confusing, because on one hand they want everything to go to plan, then on the other hand they want to be adventurous and just let everything go, and then they also want, you know, their friends and people around them to be truthful with them, even though they are not always having their own mask off. So I guess their expectations of the people around them can sometimes be higher than what they're willing to give themselves. Although, on the other hand, this can be swapped around where, you know, some divine masculine Geminis will try and people please so much that they lose themselves. And they may even, in the distorted masculine energy, have a problem with addiction of some kind. So this could be alcohol, this could be pornography, this could be gambling, or having relationships with toxic people that don't really serve them in a spiritual sense. So yeah, they can be one of the most confusing signs to be friends with, because, you know, what they say to you outwardly isn't necessarily what they mean inwardly. And this goes for even, you know, if they were saying something to you, you know, having a go at you for something, or getting cross with you, you know, they may actually be hurting underneath. So it's kind of like you never really know whether they're wearing their mask or not. And sometimes they'll wear their mask on purpose, and other times they'll take it off and you won't even know it's off. So it's kind of a little bit manipulative, but only because they don't like being played at all. And you know, they might even pretend to be friends with someone for a really long time just to see what someone is willing to do to them, even though they're not really friends with them. This is a tough one. But in their heart space, remember, they are kind, loyal, loving, and, you know, really cuddly. That's a word I'd use for Gemini, divine masculine. Really cuddly. All right, guys, I hope this helped. And yeah, check out my other videos. I've got nearly all of these ones up now. I think I've only got 2 to go. And yeah, I'll see you real soon. Bye.